Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So it is time to talk about the best in beauty makeup products of 2019. I love this video. I have categories here separated out. We're going to go through this in a very organized fashion, and I'm going to share with you the beauty products, all makeup, that stood out to me in 2019 over the last year. Now, if you've been following me, some of these may be repetitive. You've heard me talk about them, but there's a few things in here that I have been saving for this video that I have not talked about yet because I discovered them towards the end of the year and I've fallen in love with them and I'm talking about them now. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. So the first category that I am going to cover is foundation. I'm going to link you to any videos that I can possibly link you to because you'll get a lot more detail. You'll get to see the products on my face as well in those videos. I discovered quite a few great foundations in 2019, but these really stand out to me in particular. The one that I have on my face today actually stands out as well, but because it's so new to me, I'm saving it for my foundation roundup that is coming up. So if you do a little investigative work into my description box, you'll get a sneak peek at one of the foundations that's going to be in that video. Okay, so the first foundation that I am going to talk about is one that I tried because you told me I needed to try it, and you were right. I am so glad that I finally tried this foundation. Oh, and by the way, if you need to know my shades in any of these foundations, I do have my foundation shade match link that lives on my blog. I keep it updated. It is down below in my drop-down description box. This is the YSL All Hours foundation. It is every bit as good as you guys said it was. I have oily combination skin. I get oily in my T-zone. I can get some surface dehydration around the perimeters of my face sometimes, not always. Most of the time it's pretty normal around the perimeter, but I also have sensitive skin and rosacea that can flare up, and I have dry under eyes. That is going to be relevant as this video goes on. This is a very thin product that's super easy to apply, and it gives me a really natural soft demi-matte finish, which I love in a foundation. It's very skin-like, which I didn't expect. I don't know why I didn't expect that from this foundation, but it covers really well. It looks great on the pores. All of these foundations, by the way, look super great on the pores, and I don't have to blot a lot during the day. So it gets major points from me for that. I am so glad I tried this year. Finally, I don't know what took me so long, but it is so good. My second foundation is a more economical option, so much so that I keep it in my drugstore drawer. I have a high-end and a drugstore drawer, and this, although it is available at Sephora, is more drugstore priced, especially when they run their sales several times a year. This is the Sephora Matte Perfection Tinted Moisturizer. I've been raving about this a ton lately. First of all, the packaging is great for travel. This gives light to medium coverage, despite what it says. I think it actually says that it gives sheer to light medium coverage, but you can get a little bit more than that. And I mean, you can sheer it out if you want to sheer it out. And it gives a soft matte appearance. I think it says, you know, it's matte perfection, but it's not so matte that I think it won't work for more normal or dry skin. I don't typically reach for tinted moisturizers because of my oily T-zone. They tend to just get too oily too quickly during the day. This one doesn't. It just sets down really beautifully. It lasts a long time. It looks really pretty on the skin, and it feels weightless, just like all of these do. So this last foundation, some of you are going to know what I'm going to say. It is the most expensive foundation that I own, I think, and was the biggest surprise of probably any foundation that I own as far as me liking it. This is the Tom Ford Traceless Stick Foundation. Now, I had zero intention of trying this because it's pricey and it's a stick foundation. I have horrible luck with stick foundations. They just break down on me very easily, and they just do not wear well during the day. I get very oily with them. There is just something with the chemistry of my body, no matter what primer, no matter what powder. My face just hates stick foundations. I don't know why. This one is beautiful on my skin, and you do get a lot of product for a stick foundation. I just can't tell you how beautiful this looks on the skin and how well it wears throughout the day. It does give medium to full coverage depending on how you apply it, and it gives a natural soft matte finish. It lasts a long time, and when I get shiny, I don't start to look greasy and it doesn't break apart on my face. It is just so pretty and so natural looking on the face, like no stick foundation I have ever tried before. So yes, it took me a long time to finally break down and try it for good reason, but I'm so glad that I did, and I'm glad that it hopefully will last me a really long time. So technically, I feel like I could put one powder in this video. I feel like it's kind of my holy grail, which I have not done a holy grail, a ride or die video before. Let me know if you want to see that in the comments down below, because that is different than this 2019 video where I am including only products that I discovered in 2019 in particular. I have prices all over the board in this video. The By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. I have 4 in here. This was sent to me from By Terry, and honestly, I would not have discovered it otherwise. There are so many products that are favorites and fails. I've got some in my fails of 2019 video as well that were sent to me. I just never would have bought this on my own, and it is so, so beautiful. So I like the translucent version under my eyes and to set my face. It's so finely milled and it truly blurs the pores. And I feel like this is so great for dry skin as well as oily combination skin. You only need the tiniest amount. The hyaluronic acid in it is going to help keep everything hydrated. It just sets the face beautifully. Now the tinted I like to use as finishing powders. I have the shade 200 Natural, and I do find that I can set my face with this one and it looks nice. I don't like to use it under my eyes though, just the face. And I have shade 2 Apricot Light that I do like to finish with or use alone if I'm wearing no makeup, and it kind of brightens up the face. Now I have the shade 600 Dark, which I like to use as a bronzer. If you are bronzer averse, this is beautiful because it just melds with the skin so beautifully. A little bit goes a long way. I'm talking about the smallest amount. So I'm gonna tell you in a minute why the powder that I'm saying is kind of like my holy grail, why I am saying that over the By Terry. You'll probably understand in a minute. But first, I'm going to tell you about the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Perfecting Powder. In my very first dupes video, which I will link below, I talk about this powder. I have the shade Porcelain L1. It's the closest, in my opinion, to what I believe it is duping, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. Is that the name? In the shade 1, which is the closest to a translucent powder on my skin. This is great to set under your eyes or set your face. Now this is not going to control oil as long as the next powder I'm going to show, but it's going to look beautiful under the eyes. And for normal or dry skin, this is going to look beautiful. Now my favorite all-around powder for 2019, under the eyes, on the face, is the Nikia Joy Velvet Finishing Powder. I adore this and I reach for this more than any other powder I have. First of all, it smells divine, kind of like a vanilla cake or something. I don't know, but it's not overwhelming and it does disappear if you are totally averse to scent. This looks beautiful under the eyes. It looks beautiful on the face. I apply it with my damp or dry sponge and I just press it into the skin until it disappears, and then I dust away the excess. I don't bake with it, but it works beautifully at just meshing with the skin with that method. That's pretty much just how I apply powder, and it just looks so natural and beautiful, and it keeps my oil at bay for a long time. From what I hear from you guys that have this, that have a different skin type than I do, you love this too. It's not just for oily skin. The reason why I like this a little bit better than the By Terry is just for the oil control factor, because this really blurs the pores. I'm talking turbo pore blurring you're getting from both of these. This somehow covers a multitude of sins. I've had days where I felt like my under eye area just wasn't looking that great until I applied this, and this somehow smooths it out. So I love it. I adore it. I will repurchase it. You do have to order it. Doesn't bother me. It takes about 2 weeks to get here, but this is, as of now, a permanent fixture for me. So the two concealers that I have here are very different from each other because I have textured under eyes and I'm in my mid-40s, so I'm fighting fine lines. Like I said, I have a dry under eye area. I appreciate anything that can hide all of those sins. And the Jeffree Star concealer does that beautifully. I love the way the wand is curved. A little bit goes a really long way. Now the shade that I have is a little bit light. I actually have a darker shade on the way to me to see if it just is a little bit deeper than this. I have C13, but it somehow still works really nice and it brightens really beautifully. It smooths, it doesn't crease, which is really weird for me because everything creases on me. I mean, I have to set my under eyes, but it creases the least of any concealer that I've ever tried without setting. The other concealer that I absolutely love, I'm so glad that I discovered it this year, is the Armani Power Fabric Concealer. Now, it is so different from the Jeffree Star concealer in that it is a much thinner consistency. You need more of it, but it covers well in such a natural way. So if you're going for a more made up look, that's when I would use the Jeffree Star, whereas the Armani is a little more versatile. You could use it for totally natural looks or dressed up looks. It's got a little bit less coverage, but I find that after I conceal, if I add just another dot on my darkest area and pat it in, the coverage is really great and it just looks so natural and so beautiful. It's hydrating. It's just super flattering under the eyes. I'm in the shade 3.5. Love, love, love this so much. The first primer that I discovered, I'm actually about 3/4 of the way through the bottle and I have a backup waiting for me. This is the Touch in Sol No Problem Primer. This has been used probably as much as my Hourglass Veil primer that is my holy grail primer. I love this, and last time I checked it was only $18 a bottle. I mean, that's almost drugstore pricing. It's kind of a cross between a lotion and a gel, but it just sinks into the skin so nicely. It's very pore smoothing, hence the name, and it feels weightless on the skin. It controls my oil, but it never emphasizes any dry areas that I happen to have, if I happen to have them, and it does enhance the wear time of my makeup. I think for the cost, it's really nice. It's never made my skin react. I think it's great. My second primer is a total surprise for me because I don't typically go for any primer that says it's hydrating, because to me that equals greasiness and oiliness. I make my own hydration as the day goes on. This is the Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer with coconut water and probiotic based ingredients and skin revivers. This is a silicone free primer. If you have oily combination skin, I mean, you still need hydration in winter when we need that little extra burst of hydration, or if you're using a really mattifying foundation that you know might dry your skin out a little bit, like maybe it's got some alcohol in it. This is a great product to use. There's a couple of foundations that I've tried lately that can emphasize dryness, and I find that using this before them can help combat that. It smells really, really nice, but it's not overwhelming. It does disappear after you apply it. It's got more of a lotiony texture. It sinks into the skin beautifully, and again, it helps my makeup last a long time. It helps it apply beautifully, but it doesn't make my face greasy at all. It just makes it look beautiful throughout the day, and I just always thought with hydrating primers that equaled grease, and it's not the case. I love the way this makes my skin look and feel. Okay, now my facial mist discovery of the year, which I am absolutely in love with, is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. Now, I know my friend Mel Thompson loves this, and a lot of people love this, but for some reason I just never tried it. I don't know why. I kind of got more into facial mists in 2019, and I'm really glad because they actually do refresh your makeup and they can take away that powdery look in between layers when you're applying your makeup. So you do kind of have to shake it up because that sediment kind of settles at the top, but the mist on this is so super fine. It smells good, it feels good, it makes my makeup look better. It does everything that a facial mist should in an adorable bottle, and it smells terrific. Okay, let's talk about blush. Blush makes me happy. I don't know about you guys, but I love it and I never can have enough. So the blush that I have on is actually a cream blush or a liquid blush that I applied over my powder. And if you want to see more about it, I'm actually going to be talking about this in my December monthly favorites. I am going to do that because some of the products that are going to go in there, I couldn't put them in this particular video. I hadn't used them long enough, but these I've been using pretty much every day for the past month or so, maybe even a little bit longer, and they are getting to Holy Grail status. They're amazing. So I'm going to actually show you how I apply them in my monthly favorites video, which will either be at the very end of this month or the very beginning of January. These are the Daniel Sandler watercolor blushes. The shade that I have on is Caress. My other favorite shade is Rose Glow. These are stunning and probably the easiest liquid blush that you will ever apply. I put this on over powder. It didn't take off any of my makeup, and I mean, look at it. It's so pretty and so easy. I adore these. Like I said, I've been wearing them almost every day since I got them. I cannot stop reaching for them. One bottle will last you a lifetime. I feel like these are liquid blushes for people who are intimidated by liquid blush, and these are going to last you all day long. Definite favorite of 2019 for sure. I'll show you another product that it has a little bit of a different texture, and then I'll get into the powder products. These are the Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur blushes. Pink Sky and Coral Cloud are my two favorite shades. I just think they're so pretty and so springy, but at the same time you could probably wear them year round. These are actually meant to be applied with your finger, to tap on over your other products and bounce them into the skin. And that's what I love, because they are so quick and easy to apply, and they just give that nice flush of color. Very natural looking with kind of a sheen, which I think is so pretty. So I now have two of the Buxom Wanderlust blushes. I have Mykonos and Seychelles. I love both shades so much. This shade Seychelles, it was really hard to say, is a great neutral. It looks like it's going to be really boring, but it's not. It's got just enough pink and a little bit of a glow to it. It's so flattering on so many people, and I mean, you cannot go wrong with this shade. These are primer infused blushes. They apply really easily and they last all day on the skin. This is probably my favorite powder blush formula of the year. I just think they're so great. Now these blend out really easily, so you're not gonna just wow end up with so much pigment on your cheek that you cannot blend it out. They blend out beautifully, and like I said, they last all day. And I have to throw these Jouer blush duos in here. I just discovered these this year. I know a lot of people really love these. They've loved them for a long time, and I just never tried them. They're really gorgeous. This is Rose Gold and this is Adore. Both really great neutrals, great to travel with, and you get a ton of product in here for your money. I'm so glad that I tried these. So, oh yeah, this was kind of the year of blush for me. Okay, now you know, if you've watched any of my videos in the past month or two, this has to be in here. This is the Hourglass Lighting Edit palette in Ghost. I just think this is such a great face palette. I've been using this a lot. I feel like we're all familiar with the quality of Hourglass, and I know they re-released the Unlocked palette, which I also just got, but as far as everyday looks, this is what I keep reaching for. These blush shades are super versatile. The bronzer is great for bronzer or contour. You have two finishing powders and a highlight in here. It's just great for a one and done look. I can also use it on the eyes. Love this so much. Okay, so I was getting ready to go into bronzers and highlighters, and I realized that all the bronzers that I used in 2019 that just blew me away were bronzers that I was already using prior to 2019. So there is no bronzer category in this video. There is, however, a highlight category, but I have my eyeshadow palettes in front of me, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about eyeshadow palettes. I have two high-end and two drugstore palettes in this video, and that's pretty much it. I just tried for the first time this year the Milani Bold Obsessions palette, and I don't know why. I just tried it, but it's pretty darn good. So if you haven't tried this, you may want to consider picking it up. I think it's a great sophisticated palette that gives you some neutral shades as well as some pops of color. It runs the spectrum from light to deep shades as well. So this is a great drugstore palette. It also makes for a nice presentation. I mean, it looks kind of high end and the quality is great. And another palette that I think is fantastic as far as quality goes. Now, I've heard a mixed bag on this. Some of you have it and love it, and some of you feel like you got a weird batch. So I can only speak to mine, but I love it and I was shocked by it. I don't think the presentation is that great because, I mean, it looks drugstore. This is the Maybelline Lemonade Craze palette. I tried this in a video and I was actually shocked at how much I liked it and how great and versatile the looks are that I can get with this palette, because it looks really, really warm upon initial glance, but if you look around the perimeter, it's actually pretty neutral. So you can get a great neutral look, you can get a great warm look, and you can use all mattes or shimmers, whatever you want to do with this palette. It's actually way more versatile than what it looks, and the quality was really surprising. So this was a drugstore surprise hit for me. So I just discovered these Marc Jacobs iconic palettes this year. I am very late to the game with these, and I've ended up with 3. The ones that I have are Glambition, which I just talked about in an underrated Holy Grails video, but this is hands down one of my favorite neutral palettes. It's got everything that you could possibly need in it to get a smoky look, a neutral look, a work look, really any look. And Scandalust is another great palette. This is more of a warm neutral palette, but you can also get a variety of looks from this. And I ended up with Stiletto, which I have not used nearly enough. And I need to pull this out this holiday season. So I'm actually going to keep this on my vanity. But this is a beautiful palette, and I feel like the quality of all of these is super consistent. So I said I had 4 palettes out, but I really had 6 because I had 3 of these and not 1. But for me, these travel so well. The quality is fantastic, and the amount of looks you can get because of the thought put into the shade selection within each palette is pretty unparalleled. I feel like in order to get that from other palettes you need a much bigger palette. So I just really enjoyed those palettes. The last palette I'm going to point out is what I have on my eyes right now, and that is the Natasha Denona Biba palette. I would be surprised if this is not in a lot of people's videos this year, because it really is a great neutral palette to have. I just feel like any look I've ever done with this has come out so nice, and you can get a wide variety of looks. It's great to travel with. The mirror is great. The quality, of course, is just beautiful, and I love the different textures that she includes in her palettes. When I think about just neutral palettes that I reach for that have a variety of looks in them, this one just comes top of mind. So I am really, really glad that I broke down and tried this in 2019. This is hands down one of my favorite palettes for 2019. So since we're on the eyes, I'm just gonna finish out the eyes before I go to the highlight and the lips. This is the brow product that I discovered in 2019 that I have been using consistently since I discovered it. This is the Hourglass Arch Micro Sculpting Pencil. The reason why I like this so much, and the reason why I keep using it and keep using it, is because it's got this elongated, super, super, super fine tip that's finer than any tip on any brow pencil I have ever come across. So can you see how slim it actually is when you turn it to its side? So it's shaped kind of like just a dash, like a hyphen. It can create the slimmest hair-like strokes when you turn it to the side. I'm hoping you can see that fine, fine stroke right there. The one on top. I have sparse, uneven brows. When I need a super, super fine hair stroke, this is the finest tip I have found. It's like using a brow pen, except it gives you a quicker way of doing it because it's shaped like a dash, a hyphen, if you will, and you can just get that brow stroke, that hair stroke, so much quicker than using a round tip. And even the finest round tip pencil that I've used, which, I mean, I've used a lot of them. They just don't do it as quickly and they're not quite as fine. I just love it. I'm in the shade Ash, by the way. I have 2 mascaras that stand out for me for 2019. I'll go with the drugstore first because this is the one that I have. I've run out of the other one, but I will be repurchasing it. This is the Covergirl Exhibitionist waterproof. I do like a waterproof as my base layer to hold my curl. So it has this hourglass shaped wand and it gives me volume, fullness. It separates my lashes. It just does a great job, as good as most high-end mascaras do. And I feel like it's really close to the Hourglass Perversion waterproof. I like the waterproof version better than the non-waterproof because I feel like it's less clumpy and wet and it holds my curl. So I've been kind of alternating between those two the most. I still use a lot of my other mascaras, but I'm so glad that I discovered both of those mascaras in 2019. Okay, so I'm holding up my collection of nude sticks that I have acquired in 2019. Clearly, these had to be in this video. I have another eyeshadow single or eye product single I'm gonna talk about in a second. These to me are just so easy to use and so pretty on the eye. I'll put some of my favorite shades down below that I use, and I've actually just used these recently in a video where I showed you how easy they are to use. I'm not sure if I used this exact product. You just can't get much easier than taking an eyeshadow crayon and coloring it on your eyelid, sometimes underneath your lash line as well, and blending it out with a brush. I love a good one and done eyeshadow look, but what I do love is that you can take a couple of these shades if you want to use it all over your lid and then use a deeper shade in your crease or in the outer corner. They blend together very nicely and they last all day. They don't crease. The shade variety is great and they have several kits that you can get to try them and get them for a better price too. I have just loved nude sticks this year. They're hands down one of my best product discoveries of 2019. Maybe one of my best eye product discoveries ever, maybe, as are the Hourglass Scattered Light Glitter Eyeshadow. To me, these are not glitter. These are more like a glimmer, I guess. These are pressed into the jar. I mean, look, that's just not glitter. That's more like a sheen or a gleam. It's just so pretty. And you can kind of pat them on, you can glide them on like that, and there's no fallout either. It's just a great way to amp up your eye look. And you can wear them during the day too. That's what's so beautiful about these, is they add a gleam to any look and they never look overdone. I've heard Jamie Page describe them as adult glitter. I think that's what she called them, but I would agree. The shade that I have is Smoke and I intend on getting other shades. I wish I had not waited so long to try these. I like these more than any other glitter pigments that I've ever tried. They last. You don't need glitter glue. It's not like applying loose glitter on your lids at all. I like them better than the Stila liquids. These are absolutely perfect. All right, now let's talk about the highlighters and then we will move on to lips. I have here the Milk Makeup Lit highlighter stick. This is the little mini version. I can't remember if I bought the mini version because they do sell it, or if it came in a little sampler kit. I did not think I was gonna like this. I guess because I feel like Milk Makeup markets themselves to the younger crowd. But this looks super natural on the skin. You can tap it on over your powder products. I find it doesn't remove them and it doesn't feel tacky either. I can't stand that. And it just gives a really beautiful, natural looking sheen to the skin that you can wear to work or during the day. It's just really beautiful and it does look natural. So if you're wanting something that's a little bit smaller and a little bit more portable, you have this option. And I do like that they offer it in a smaller option so that if you want to try it, you can do so without investing in a big highlighter stick. This next highlighter took me a while to try. I heard raves about it from you guys. This is the Persona Cali Glow highlighter in the shade Zuma. I do like a champagne highlight a little bit more than gold, but every now and then I really like that gold tone, which is what this has. And this has just enough gold in it to where it suits me. It's kind of like a gold cut with champagne, I would say. So there it is, fully swatched, and I kind of tried to blend it out a little bit. It's a really soft, beautiful gold that I feel like would be flattering on most skin tones, and it does not emphasize anything bad. It's a really beautiful, beautiful highlighter, very smooth, as is this next one that I did not think I was gonna like. Now this is a glowy one, but this is a flattering, glowy highlighter. Again, I just thought this is one that is for young people. It's gonna emphasize everything, and boy was I wrong. Super surprised. This is the Benefit Cookie highlighter. Oh my goodness, this is such a great highlighter. So this is that champagne kind of whitish shade, and I just thought it looked kind of chunky on the inside, like it would not work at all. This is a one finger swipe, and this is it kind of blended out right there. Look at how beautiful that is. I love this so much. This is that highlight for when you want to wear highlight. This isn't a highlight when I'm going to work. This is maybe a nighttime or special occasion highlight. It's not going to show anything bad. It's still going to be flattering, but it's going to look special. And that's what I love about it. I mean, look at that. It is stunning. Absolutely stunning. I mean, those cheekbones are going to be lifted, but it's not going to give you glitter. It's not going to give you sparkle. None of these will. You're just going to have some that are good for day and some that are good for night, at least for me anyway. You can wear highlighter whenever you want to wear highlighter. This is just when I prefer to wear certain types of highlighter. It's all personal preference. It's time for lips. I've done some serious swatching. I am ready. I have one lip liner in this video that I discovered in 2019. Where is it? It's not a new brand for me, but it is a new shade. I discovered Charlotte Tilbury Love Trap in 2019. I know everybody raves about Pillow Talk and about Iconic Nude, and for me, Love Trap is more of a your lips but better, whereas Pillow Talk is more pink and Iconic Nude is more brown. This kind of falls somewhere in between. Do you see what I mean? It's just that your lips but better, nude, neutral, kind of mauvey pink cut with a bit of brown. So it's definitely a shade that I am glad I discovered. And I tried the L'Oreal Color Riche Shine lipsticks. I think a lot of people discovered these in 2018. I discovered them in 2019 and I love them so much. Throughout this video, I've had the shade Glossy Fawn on my lips. These are just super moisturizing. They're shiny. They're kind of like wearing a gloss and a lip balm all in one, except in lipstick form. You know, they're not meant to be long wearing. They apply so easily and feel so good. It's like, I just don't really mind reapplying them. So here's Glossy Fawn. I also have Sparkling Rose and Luminous Coral, and I absolutely love these and rotate these all the time. So this next product was a discovery simply because one of my favorite lip products was discontinued in 2019, but I do really, really like these, and I think that they're the closest thing that I've found to my beloved MAC lip tensities that were discontinued. So these are the MAC Love Me lipsticks. These are creamy yet long lasting, which is nice. It's hard to find something that is creamy yet long lasting too. Now, I don't think they're quite as hydrating as the lip tensities were, but they're pretty close. So I have Under the Covers and Laissez-Faire. I feel like Under the Covers is a really great neutral pink that can go into spring or summer or fall really nicely. And Laissez-Faire is a great cooler neutral that I really like to wear in the winter or fall. I just kind of like that cooler neutral pink for that time of year, and it's really flattering. Sometimes cooler pinks like that can go too gray, and it's a really nice kind of in between. When Charlotte Tilbury first released her Superstar lips, they were limited edition, and I hated it because I really love the formula. And she re-released them, and I don't think that they're limited edition anymore. They seem to be permanent. Somebody let me know if that is the case. I have three here that I really, really love: Pillow Talk, Walk of Shame, and Sexy Lips. These are super easy to apply because the bullet is so slim, and they are very moisturizing and very hydrating, yet they provide a lot of pigment. So they're more than a tinted balm, yet they feel like a tinted balm. Now you do need to reapply. These are not going to last you all day. They kind of do remind me of the L'Oreal Color Shines, except maybe with a little bit more pigment. So here's Pillow Talk, Walk of Shame, and Sexy Lips. 2019 is the year that I discovered the Revlon Super Lustrous Glosses. I love this formula. I think it rivals most of the high-end glosses that I've tried. And I have two shades here in particular that I love and I reach for a ton. One I reach for a little bit more often just because it's more neutral and I can wear it all year, versus the other one that I reach for more in spring or summer. So I have the shade Blissed Out and Rosy Future, and I do have Rosy Future in my last dupes video. So if you want to go catch that, you can see what it's a dupe for. So here is Blissed Out, and here is Rosy Future. I find them to be hydrating. They're not too sticky, but they're not too thick either. They don't feel goopy. They just feel really good on the lips. They don't have a discernible scent at all, and the applicator is really nice. I like the angle. I really like everything about these glosses. The Bobbi Brown Crush Liquid Lip. I am so sad I only have one of these. I definitely need to get more because the formula of this is just different than anything that I have. I have the shade Juicy Date, and you can see here it's got this slanted, kind of messy looking applicator, but it actually does apply very, very easily. And look at the pigment. I mean, it's not sheer like a gloss. This is actually a liquefied lipstick, kind of like the Bite Beauty. Not a liquid lip that's gonna be drying. It's very creamy. It's a hybrid between a lipstick and a gloss and a balm. They are hydrating and they last a long time, but they don't dry out the lips at all. They're really a beautiful, beautiful formula. I kind of feel like this product is going to be on everyone's list. This is the Persona lip gloss that I do have in 5 shades. Okay, here are all 5 shades of the Persona glosses, and I'll tell you why I like them in a second. This is Coral, Peach, Pink, Honey, and Toffee. There's not only shine, but there's also pigment. That's why I really like these. They're hydrating, they're not sticky, and they actually wear a decent amount of time for a gloss, and they have a nice sweet scent to them as well. They kind of smell like frosting. I just love it. And they just have a nice skinny, simple wand applicator. I love that Ulta carries Persona now because it's so much more easily accessible to get your hands on these. These are glosses that are great to wear on their own or throw on over a lipstick, which you technically can do with any gloss, but because they do have decent pigment, they're so great to wear on their own, which I truly appreciate. If you haven't seen my worst in beauty for 2019, which encompasses everything, makeup, skincare, hair care, lifestyle, everything, head on over to that video. I have a link here for you to get to that video. Thankfully, it is a lot shorter than this video because I liked a lot more in 2019 than I didn't like. I hope you enjoyed this best in beauty for makeup for 2019. There was a lot in here. Thankfully, I had a pretty good year as far as makeup goes. Stay tuned because very soon I will have my best of 2019 for skincare, hair care, and lifestyle. That's going to be my next video. So thank you so much for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.